Hi, welcome back. So we're currently here at Longleat Center Parcs and we are currently midway through our break. But one of the things we wanted to do was to do another versus video. So if you have seen the first one, then you'll be familiar. So last time round we compared and gave our expert opinions comparing Center Parcs at Woburn to Center Parcs at Elvedon. So this time round we're here at Longleat and we thought we would do a Longleat versus Sherwood. Now hopefully these are helpful. I know literally today, and I'm not making this up, but literally today somebody's messaged me saying, oh, what do you think about this park? So like, and I love that. I love that people do message and like ask our opinions because like, you know, we like Center Parcs and we come a lot. So hopefully this just like shares our opinion on all different things from the park layout to the quality of the rapids, all the wildlife.
Yeah, look, everyone's always going to have a different opinion, aren't they? But this is ours.
Yeah, and they're probably going to be similar points and they may be quite different. We have upgraded this time. Look at this. So we've got Sherwood and Longleat. No expense spared. I mean,
I'm going to be holding up the wrong way every single time.
Oh yeah, just twisted. There we go, we just twist it, it'll be fine. So we've got our red wine.
Cheers.
Cheers. We've also sat in the window and I've just realised we're going to be walking past thinking, what are they doing?
Just drink the wine and then we won't care.
Yeah, so we've gone through, we're going to use all the same categories as last time. So starting off with the park overall. And which would you say has the better park layout? Longleat or Sherwood? So park layout in 3, 2...
Oh God, I don't need longer than that.
Will you tell me when you're ready?
Right, I'm ready.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Ah, okay, so we've both said Longleat. So why have you said Longleat?
Oh, I said Longleat because there's different areas, so you get to go around different parts of the park to be able to find what you're looking for. And the reason why I struggled was Sherwood also has more different areas, but I just see that Longleat is a bit more established in those like three particular areas. Yeah.
They're both quite similar for park layout. They're both similar sizes, or they're both like big ones, and they're both spread out. But yeah, like you, I really like it at Longleat, where you've got like the plaza area, the village square, and then the lake and the sports plaza, all as quite distinct areas. Whereas at Sherwood, there is some distinct areas, but some of it kind of blends in together. Now that might be helpful for some people if you don't want to be walking around too much, but I quite like it's all separate. So does Longleat or Sherwood have a better village square?
Right. I start getting a bit confused as to which one's which.
Yeah.
So the village square is kind of like where foresters and stuff would be.
Here, yeah.
Yeah. And in Sherwood, it's the area around the main swimming plaza, the Subtropical swimming paradise. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So better village square, Longleat or Sherwood.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh wow.
And mine's the right way up, so I'm pleased with that. I was like trying to look on the screen. Is that the right way?
So you said Sherwood?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're wrong, but why are you wrong? What?
So I think it's really nicely done at Sherwood, that little outsidey area. The only downside to it is that if the weather's not very good and it's all outside and because I suppose it is here actually, isn't it? It's all outside. But there's more at the village square in Sherwood.
Yeah.
Where here it's kind of just foresters and where they do a lot of the seasonal things. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I get that. And it was nice when we sat outside, but I think here there's a real obvious village square. Like it's an area, whereas at Sherwood it's kind of the bit in between stuff. So it's not like it's a location in its own right. So that's why I thought I preferred Longleat, because it's got a feel to it. You've got the foresters, you've got like the play parks. Or they have got rid of your favourite play park. So next up, which site has a better lake area? You got a decision? You got an answer?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Sherwood all round.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yeah. So I nearly said Longleat, because I really like Longleat's lake. I think it's big enough that you can just walk around it comfortably, and in the summer especially it's really, really nice. Maybe I picked Sherwood because that's where the pancake house is, and that's kind of swayed me to it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, quite probably. But yeah, Sherwood has a really nice, good-sized lake, and in the summer, and when we were there in October even, I just liked some of the little boats that were on the lake and stuff, so it was just a bit bigger, a bit more going on. So
my main reason, it's much bigger at Sherwood, isn't it? The whole lake area, so that's why I would go with Sherwood. But I'm very happy with the Longleat Lake area as well.
Yeah. So Longleat or Sherwood, which is better for outdoor activities?
Outdoor activities. Right, I've got an answer.
Okay. Okay.
I had an answer and then I changed it just before I come round, because when we were doing the countdown, I thought about the zip wire at Sherwood, and that was really good.
Yes.
It was better than the one at Longleat. And before that point, I was like, they're just as good as each other. Like, I was really struggling to put one ahead of the other. So then I was going to put Longleat to balance it out, which I know is cheating a little bit. But yeah, the zip wire at Sherwood, really good. So that.
Yeah, and I thought the zip wire would be for Sherwood, but I thought then, actually, the adventure golf courses here I thought were better. Although at Sherwood they are now being redone, so they're currently closed. So that's good, because that means next time we go to Sherwood we'll be able to do them again. Sherwood on the lake, they've got different things, but they haven't got an aqua park. Whereas here you've got the aqua park in the summer. So I think there was just a few things why I picked Longleat.
Yeah, actually, I'm very excited to do the aqua park when we come in the summer. Here. So yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah, you can look forward to seeing us in our wetsuits. Oh, that's a treat, isn't it? God.
Subscribe now.
Yeah. So, which of the two sites would you say has the best sports plaza, or the Jardin de Sport?
Yeah, at Sherwood, it's a bit fancy at Sherwood, isn't it? Yeah.
A bit of red wine for that. Jardin de Sport. 3, 2, 1. Oh. So I mean, we're not the most sporty, let's get out of there straight away. But I think Longleat has more courts inside, is a bigger space for the tennis and badminton and all of that. It has the interactive squash wall, which we really like.
Yeah, so I like the more traditional feel of the Jardin de Sports at Sherwood, and I don't know whether it's my own personal kind of nostalgic feeling and stuff, that because it feels exactly the same as it was when I was a kid. It's probably changed loads, but it felt that way to me.
Yeah, and it does feel more original, even inside when you've got the logo on the back wall and stuff.
And it feels like I might be getting this wrong now, but from memory, I feel like the Jardin de Sports at Sherwood is just for sports and the sports cafe, whereas the one here has got Regime de Pradesh and all of that. Someone is probably going to comment now and say, "Oh, actually, you're missing all of this stuff that was also at Sherwood," but I can't think what it was.
Jules, your favourite shop?
Yeah, I don't shop in Jules, so I did walk through there though. I didn't know if I'm a Spencer.
Yeah. So we talked about the layout of the site. Which of the two sites would you say is better or easier for getting around? Sherwood or Longleat?
I know this one.
Yeah, it's got to be Sherwood. I mean, Sherwood is big and it is spread out, as we've said, but it's fairly flat, and so it's quite easy to walk or cycle around. When we were there last, we hired bikes, and that was really good fun, and it's just well set up for it. Longleat's quite hilly, if you hadn't heard about it before.
Quite. It's very hilly, and I think I love how picturesque all the hills make it at Longleat, but it's definitely, without a doubt, much more difficult to get around. Obviously, you've got the land train that's at Longleat as well, but you can't really rely on it, because very often it comes past, we've watched it come past here God knows how many times, and it's full.
Yes.
Yeah, it's difficult. You can't really rely on that for your mode of transport. Where we are at the moment, we're not too far to walk to different bits and pieces. But if you were out there in fur and you needed to keep getting across the park, it's a long way.
Yeah, it really is.
The bikes are difficult if you're not used to cycling, which we're not.
Yeah. And at Longleat, you have got the Wessex Way, which is a bit around the top of the site to get from one peak to another without having to go down and up. But that was closed for quite a period over kind of COVID times, and it's closed again at the minute for refurbishment. So they need to maintain things. They need to obviously refurbish things. If that's open, it's definitely worth using, and it's a really nice walk. But even still, it's just a bit more difficult to get around, especially if you have little ones or mobility issues and stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, and the final question on the park overall, and this will be one that you'll have lots of opinions on because it's where you get your spicy fries. Which of the two sites has the better sports cafe? Okay. Yeah, we both said Longleat. Why have you said Longleat?
To be honest, actually, there's nothing that makes either of them stand out amazingly. They're just both very nice. They're functional. They do what they need to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we're not doing a Woburn comparison here, but when Woburn is really open, really, really open, so you can see all of that where neither Longleat or Sherwood are.
Yeah, so they are very similar with the little booth bits and the dividers and all the screens. I picked Longleat because at Sherwood the outside seating at the back is nice, and we sat out there before, but you're looking out over the courts and stuff. Whereas at Longleat in the summer, you sit out at the front, you get that amazing view out over the sort of towards the lake and the grass area. And
it's always quite buzzing around there as well, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's where you get all the dogs. So
yeah, so I like that. Actually, yeah, because quite often we sit out in the sports plaza, if we sit outside at Longleat, and I'm just going, oh, there's a dog there, and you get a bit annoyed, don't you?
That's why I've taken up vlogging, to be honest.
I just look at dogs, vlog.
Yeah. So the next category then, moving on, is to think about the wildlife. All the wildlife at both parks. So first of all, which site would you say has the better variety of wildlife? Got a decision?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Longleat!
Yeah. For me, obviously you've got deer here, which you don't have at Sherwood. Yeah, you get a bit of everything going on here.
Yes.
Where Sherwood has a lot, but a lot of the same.
Has a lot of squirrels.
A lot of squirrels and a lot of ducks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. Longleat, you've got deer, and so that's something that Sherwood didn't have. What's the land
the land train's coming out. Everyone's going to be staring at us.
Should waving. Yeah. If you're on a land train and you go past and see some weirdos waving, there's a good chance it's us.
Yeah, but especially when we're filming, it kind of breaks the awkwardness a little bit, because otherwise they're looking like, what are them pair doing in there?
Yeah. Now, a big attraction, a big part of Center Parcs is the swimming. Definitely for us it is, and I think a lot of you as well. Definitely get questions a lot and see a lot of questions about which has the best swimming pool, which has the best rapids, which is the best for who.
Yeah.
So
my favourite, actually. Yeah.
So which of the two sites would you say has the best outdoor pool area? Okay. Always straight in with an answer.
There's no contest.
Yeah. So which has a better outdoor pool area, Longleat or Sherwood? Absolutely Longleat. Longleat's outdoor pool area is really nice, it's really good. There's a lot of space, you've got the outdoor jacuzzis, you've got the bubbles. Yeah.
The lights, there's loads of lights, at the night time, it just looks lush. Yeah, I could spend all night in there.
Yeah. And Sherwood isn't bad, it's definitely not terrible, but it's just not on the same level.
There wasn't as many, in Sherwood, whilst you can have a little paddle around, there's nowhere to kind of chill out outside. It's kind of you go out there to maybe go to the rapids and go to the rapids.
Yeah. I agree. Next up then is the wild water rapids.
Yeah.
Now, we like the rapids. We always enjoy going to rapids. So if you've watched any of our vlogs, you'll have seen plenty of rapids footage. But which one would you say is the best of the two? I know. It almost hurts me to say it, but I would say Sherwood has the better rapids of the two. I think Longleat, the outdoor slide bits at Longleat are really good fun. And when I see Longleat, I get really excited because you kind of stand, you can see it from on the path and stuff, and it's all lit up and blue and exciting. But for rapids that throw you around corners and zoom around, definitely Sherwood.
The Sherwood rapids are brutal, so if you go on them, be prepared to get bruises.
Or somebody's toe in your face or something.
Yeah.
You might like that, who knows, but both are good.
Happy at either, but Sherwoods are brutal and take some beating.
Yeah. So, now thinking about the slides, which of the two would you say has a better selection of slides? Longleat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's got those white slides as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know what you would call them really, but there's two kind of like white slides that go down as well as all the other
Yes.
slides I think Sherwood had as well. Whereas Sherwood has got that one really steep blue slide just before you go to the outdoor pool.
Oh, yes.
But you have to be like, is it 1.2 metres or under or something to go on it?
Yes.
It looks really good fun to be fair, but I'm just a little bit over 1.2 metres, so I can't go on there.
The next one's a little bit redundant. Which of the two sites has the better lazy river?
Oh, well, yeah.
So,
I now understand why, right.
it's Longleat. And the reason it's Longleat is because Sherwood doesn't have a lazy river, which is a real shame because I love a lazy river. I think they're really good fun. I enjoy going around them all the time. And there's not one at Sherwood.
Yeah.
And actually, where they could have built a lazy river at Sherwood, instead they decided to put some more cabanas and charge a premium for it, which...
And excessive premium as well.
Yeah. And I would have much rather seen that used as a lazy river and added a bit more for everyone rather than the extra price for that. But, I'm not Mr. Center Parcs, so it's not my decision.
Also, just putting it out there, they've built quite a lot of extra lodges at Sherwood over time, but the facilities have not improved along with it. So I think they really should have done something with that rather than try and...
Yeah. I mean, Longleat's lazy river isn't the biggest, but the fact it's got one, it's obviously going to win. And I really like it because as you go around, there's a few bits where it does like push you around a bit more.
And you struggle to get out.
That's always fun to watch. People trying to cling on to the wall. Yeah, so Longleat for the lazy river. And finally, just finishing off on the swimming and the subtropical swimming paradise, which would you say has the better indoor pools overall?
Again, this is a difficult one because the actual indoor like wave pools are...
You need to make a decision. Okay.
Do you know what? The wave pools at both sites are pretty much the same.
Yeah.
The reason I picked Longleat this time is because when we went to Sherwood, the dome was cold. Like, the whole... it was cold.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't believe it. When you go into Longleat and like you walk in and the heat kind of just hits you.
Yeah, it's like subtropical.
And the same at the other parks as well, but Sherwood, I don't know whether they just need to like do a bit of maintenance work on the dome that's in place.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it was really cold, and the water in the main pool was also cold.
Yes. I think I picked Sherwood because Longleat's got one indoor jacuzzi kind of area, hasn't it? Like by the main pool. But Sherwood has a couple of hot tub jacuzzi bits around to the side that we spent a lot of time in and enjoyed. That's all the swimming. So I think, I don't know. I hope you're taking score and taking a note because I'm not sure. But I think swimming actually was quite mixed.
Yeah.
Like both have pros and cons. Both have strengths.
You'd be happy at either.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. They're both good in different ways.
Yeah. So one of the activities that we always like to do at a new site is try out the Aqua Sana spa. So the Aqua Sana is not included in your break. You need to pay for it as an extra, but we always do book ourselves a little 3 hours in the spa, normally including the tapas afternoon tea as well, which is just such good value. So if you're thinking about it, definitely treat yourself. However, Aqua Sana spa at Sherwood, Aqua Sana spa at Longleat, which would you say has the better selection of rooms? I'm struggling to think what rooms are at Sherwood.
But I'll tell you how I got to this because then that'll hopefully help you realise. But realise why I'm right. I think that all of the rooms are the same at both of them. However, Sherwood has that additional treetop sauna. So that's why I picked Sherwood, just because it has that extra little thing that was a bit different. And the views were amazing from up there as well. But you can feel it wobbling, so if you're a bit funny about height, so you don't like that, don't go into it.
Maybe that's why I blocked it out. Yeah, the treetop sauna, and you sort of go up the steps. Yeah, it is an extra room. You're right. Yeah, and that is something that Longleat doesn't have. And yeah, actually, I can't think of anything that Longleat has that Sherwood doesn't. So maybe I'll change my answer. But yeah, okay, you were right on that one. I can admit it.
I'm always right. But like with either of them, you'll have an amazing time. That's not a big thing to kind of like put it above it.
No. Which one would you say has the better spa design? Yeah, Longleat. They are both very similar, and I think all of the spas are going to be very similar. They've all got that kind of forest, whatever they call it, forest feel spa. Apart from Elvedon, which was quite dated, but is now being redone. So when we go there later this year, we'll be trying it out again, and we'll maybe have to revise our decisions.
I'm really excited to see how it looks in comparison to how it was before, because it really was not up to the same standards as any of the other parks by a long shot.
Yeah, and Sherwood and Longleat, I'd say, are very similar in the design and what they've got. I think for me, Longleat was maybe just done a bit more recently, so it just feels a little bit fresher, maybe.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I don't know if it actually it was done, but it feels like it's newer anyway. Yeah. So
that's a spa. So we are now going to move on to the best four. So first of all, which is best for families with young children, Longleat or Sherwood? Yeah. So I said Sherwood. You said Sherwood.
Yeah. Like the hills are the biggest problem at Longleat. If you've got kids walking up and down these hills, they're going to be whinging and it's going to be doing your head in.
Oh yeah.
Or you're going to have them in one of those little things on the back of your bike.
Doing our head in. Getting in our way.
Yeah. And you're going to be thinking, what am I doing cycling up this hill with like this little trailer in the back and your kids in there?
Yeah. But what about families with older kids or teenagers? The reason I picked Longleat for older kids / teenagers is because of the wildlife, because of the deers. I think that's like exciting. I think older kids who can maybe cope a bit better with the hills and stuff might like find the wildlife more exciting.
See, and I was thinking maybe the opposite, thinking, because it's got those three separate areas, and the teenagers can go off to the sports plaza, and then you can go off somewhere else to the village square and have a drink in Foresters, and like you're not in each other's pockets.
Yeah. And
I also thought the hills aren't so much of an issue with teenagers, because if they're moaning, you can just tell them to shut up. Basically, like when they're that little bit older, I'd be like, well, tough because there's a hill, so you need to walk up it. Like you can't really speak to young kids in the same way, or maybe you can. I don't know. Yeah.
Come back soon for more parenting tips with Dave. So, which of the two sites is best for couples? Longleat or Sherwood? Longleat. Yeah. I mean, we've stayed at Longleat as just the two last summer in the apartments, and we had a really good time in those. And I think the apartments are a really good option if you're just couples coming for a break and you want to save a few pounds and still have a really good time. Sherwood has got smaller, cheaper lodges as well, but I don't know. I think the apartments are just really well set up for couples.
Longleat is more picturesque than Sherwood.
Oh yeah, like going down the boardwalk and going for a nice walk.
Yeah, as a couple, I think that's something that's probably more important to you than it would be. There's another land train coming, so should we wait so we don't look so stupid?
Yeah. Some people were laughing at us, I think.
They're probably thinking, what is going on in there?
And which of the two sides would you say was the best for adult groups? So groups of adult friends, I mean, not like whatever else it could be. So best for adult groups, Longleat or Sherwood? Sherwood? Yeah, we've stayed at both with friends. At Sherwood with Emma and Lee, we've stayed here with Emma and Lee, we've also stayed here with your mum and Gary, and we're here with my dad and Lee. So we've been here with lots of people and always have a good time.
And my sister as well. Sister,
yeah. So we've been here with lots of people. But I don't know, I think maybe because in my head I associate Sherwood with riding bikes, and you can get a group of people with adults with bikes to ride around, cycle up to the country club, have a drink.
And I think some of the things that are good here as a couple, like the picturesque walks and stuff, it's probably not what you're so bothered about if you're here as a group of adults.
Yeah. Fair. So finally then, and this is just thinking about everything we've talked about, things we haven't maybe looking forward to include. Of the two sites, which is the best Center Parcs overall? Longleat or Sherwood? 3, 2, 1. Longleat. Yeah. Like, I think it's quite clear from what we've just said. Sherwood has some really good things. We are already booked to go back to Sherwood later this year for Christmas. I just think when you put it all together, in our circumstances, being quite easy to deal with the hills, you know, go out for dinner, go out for drinks, see the wildlife, everything all combined. Longleat's my favourite.
Yeah, it's the most picturesque, isn't it? Like, it's everywhere you turn at Longleat is just like stunning. It's got good swimming, good restaurants.
Yeah. So that's all of it. So I hope that has been, well, I hope that's been helpful, maybe, you know, at least from our opinions. Let us know in the comments below if you agree or disagree and why. I'd be really interested to see. And if you've got any questions about either site that we've not talked about, then ask us questions and we'll try and answer them from our experience. Yeah, thanks so much for watching and we'll see you again soon.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.